Hello everybody, and welcome to the stream. Today, after so many days of me just putting it off, I'm actually going to start getting to work on this little coastside castle for my librarian villagers over here. Because Lord knows I need it. And yeah, we're just going to start by doing just smooth sandstone for all of it. Yeah. And we're just gonna try to do a simple, chilled stream, you know? Yeah. Man, happy guests are weird, bro. They always be yapping and yapping and yapping. Like, bro, just shush. Why you be yapping? Boom, boom, boom. And of course, we will add detail after the base structure is done. But the most important thing about this, of course, is getting the actual villagers in. And having a place for these librarians where they won't die and can wander free. Well, as free as a villager can be. And to make it where it's not a complete mess. Of just blocks on the island. There's actually a structure. Of course, it will most likely end up being higher than 3 blocks. However, it might not. Because it is pretty small of an island. Alright, that's a good start though. Of course we're gonna have to build this up, but that can happen once we get this first build done. Boom. The wall's almost completed. And then we can move on to the first build. Boom, 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 boom. And just like that, at least the foundation is done. Of course, we should try to get some sand filling up this place and everything. So do we have any sand? Yes, we do. Good. Now, on to which building to start with. I think we should start with this tower right here. And of course we'll come back to each one and do proper interiors and wall designs and everything after we get the basics laid out. Boom, boom. And it is also possible, of course, that midway through we have to go find materials. Because, of course, sand, therefore sandstone, is not the most easy thing to come across from the biome I am at. But once we get a start, then we can finish the village's interior of everything and start moving these dudes. And really start making some money. I'm talking selling books on the server and everything. Oh, my video just went. Let's see. I'm just pulling up chat on my phone to see if anyone comments anything. Two, three. Okay. Now, desert builds all day can be somewhat challenging at times. Nonetheless, when we have to make it villages safe, i.e. able to be there with no villages escaping at all, is a very, very large challenge. We'll finish foundations for all the others, and then we'll go on to completing them. That's I'm thinking where most of the beds will go, or in here. Could also work. And I'm thinking letting them be free, well, not being insanely productive, will be a nice change of pace for this season compared to last. And we'll keep the roofs open so we can easily just transport them from in there. Just minecart them in and drop them. Or boat them in and drop them, if necessary. Alright. And, by the way, I think a lot of this will be done off camera. Not the building of it itself, but possibly some design elements and probably moving villagers in and everything. However, I will try to stream as much as I can tonight. And that will get one ginormous thing off my checklist for this season. Or at least for the early game this season. We'll add this back in and everything. Later, we'll decide how the build should go here. I'm thinking we maybe put some buildings here. We'll fill that in. 1, 2. This one can be taller. And it is possible that I actually gate in each of these and try to move specific ones into specific areas. Like for all general ones, like unbreaking and mending, can go 1. All the tool ones, fortune, silk touch, and efficiency can go in 1. Combat for sword goes in 1. Combat for bows goes in 1. Crossbows, maces, tridents, armor, all separated. Is that taller than it? Yes, it is. Good. Boom, boom, boom. However, this is way too short. So we're gonna increase the height of everything. Try to get this a really imposing figure while adding some real nice angles, while keeping a very, very simple design. Yeah, look at this. Already looking pretty cool. We'll have a... Maybe we should extend this tower up. I'm unsure though. We probably should, but for now, let's just get the outlines done. Boom, 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 boom. looking good for a start. We might have to go get materials though. We are running kinda low, not gonna lie. Yeah. But the real important thing is this is all for function, so it doesn't have to look the best. But we still want to make it look good. Because it's still directly in eyesight from our main base. Our main base is right over there. As you'll know if you've seen our last episode. Boom, 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 boom. What is there left? There's that building and this building. Cool. We're almost there from the basic bits of it. Alright, let's get back up. Boom, boom. There we go. We need more materials, of course. Hopefully we have some in these chests. None? Okay, we have a good couple stacks left. cool. And boom. On to the last house before I can start the detailing process, aka the fun stuff. There we go. And of course, we'll cover it up with the floor and everything. And yeah, I think we're going to have to kind of make this other one better looking. And I think a cool, fun idea is to model it kind of after artistic sketches of the Library of Alexandria. Kind of. So I'm going to make some nice... I'm going to eventually make some nice gradients there. Make sure it has some cool angles for that curved inward feel, while still remaining very nice and square. But we do still want it to be very medieval. So I'm thinking we do castle crenellations up top and have it go out one more block for depth up there. But that will be done in the detail phase of it. And then a wood floor here. We can get them in another way. And we'll build back up when it's time. But that should look, yes, much better. Much larger and in proportion. However, I do not like those being so, I guess, close to it. So we're gonna bring it down a little bit. Here we go. That looks much better, and it'll look even better once we have actual sandstone walls, making that curve look decent. That can be just a simple turret tower. We'll have to figure out how to trap them in, but I'm gonna get the builds themselves done before that. Since it was so close to a tiger, I don't feel it is stretched to use spruce wood, especially considering how good it looks, just in general. And how surprisingly well it complements this. Just a simple tower, this one will be. And we're going to, of course, texture everything, but that comes after. And by texture, I mean we're going to use birch to gradient it all. Stripped birch and possibly birch planks. We should get at least a decent amount of slabs, yes. And then walls. That should be decent for that. We're gonna grab some normal sandstone for some added texture. Well, we're up doing that. That work? Yeah, that'll work fine. One, two, and we'll probably use a birch fence there to complete it. Oop. Let's get some slabs here. I think just two here. We should do a ring of rougher looking sandstone. To define it better. And then up here, and then we can get the slabs here. it'll leave us plenty able to get a large brazier fire going up here at some point for it. We need 2 more walls, unfortunately. I did not make that. However, we are running kind of low, so let's go over to the stone cutter and make it. But for now, ooh, yes, that's looking good. It'll be looking way better though once we add those crenellations up top. And also windows and such. There we go. I think that should be enough. There we go. Look at that. That's looking good. And of course, we'll be looking better once we texture it more. I'm so bad at water bucket clutching on stream. Alright. We need these gotten rid of. Boom. Cool. This one's going to be quite simply textured by taking off this top layer. And doing a checkered pattern for all of this. And then we'll add slabs going around. We'll keep this though, smooth stone. And that'll probably be done in birch wood, so maybe we have some. Jungle, here's some birch, good. We can do it just simply like that to get a nice checkered pattern going. Boom. And then for over this way. can actually texture it some. Boom. Nice, nice, nice. And we'll have some of our rougher stuff get here as detail. Most of the standard houses will have framing in wood, but for these really big houses and towers and everything, protections of the castle, so to speak, I think it's cooler to have it be full sandstone. Yep. And we're going to have to make a big circle within here. There's going to be a floor here. But this is also going to be more or less pretty focused on the windows for this entire layer. And we'll lower these down a bit. Of course, there'll still be a way up here, but these windows will be closed, most likely with some spruce fences. Yeah, I think spruce fences is the way to go for it. Fences. We can get those birch fences we were on about earlier. That's a lot of birch fences. We need more spruce fences. There we go. Hopefully that's sufficient. Nice, nice. Perhaps up here we should put some air vents as hot air visors. I believe in this civilization they would definitely put in some air vents here. At least that's the cannon I'm going with. And it is my build, so, you know. Now the question is it 3 like that, or just those 2? Or potentially, should it be not like that, but of 1 higher? I think that's fine for it. Boom, looking pretty good. And we can always keep it more on the simplistic side, of course. We'll put a trapdoor there. There we go. And that's already 1 build done. And we've only been streaming for 40 minutes, ha 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 ha, with no viewers, yay! This is the way it works, though. This is pretty decent, in my opinion, already. So I think all I'm gonna do is texture it up. There we go. Texturing, good, good. And well, I could overcomplicate it and use some, like, 4-sided strip birch logs for it and everything. And I might still down there. I don't see the need to when the normal sandstone suits it so well. Next up is this. And this one is our first one that gets to make use of actual, well, like, jungle wood and everything. Strip jungle woods specifically, but we're gonna go in and strip it afterwards. Otherwise, it takes too long doing it this way. we should be able to make use of some trapdoors here. And yes, I want trapdoors and not shelves. They're a bit thinner and, in my opinion, better for this purpose if it's thinner. I need to get the water again. However, we need 4 more trapdoors. And there we go. There we go. Where's this Zombozo? In there, huh? Well, I guess I'll have to murder him. Because he shouldn't be in this. Alright. It's looking like I don't have too much more time to build this. I might be on stream tomorrow, but I'll probably do some work off camera on it. If you enjoyed the stream, please like and subscribe. Watch, if you would like, the other streams, and make sure you keep up to date on all the proper episodes in the video tab of my YouTube channel, including episode 1, where I built my starter base, sword system, and this little lilac field. Alright, I will see